There is a negative stigma that comes along with Black Desert since the beginning of time, and that is pay to win. When you talk about Path of Exile, no one in chat's going to be like, "Oh, that pay to win garbage," right? Obviously, it's a very different game. Just using this as an extreme example for those of you watching on YouTube and on Twitch. When you talk about Black Desert Online, immediately you're going to get people in chat, for example, that say pay to win garbage. Now, I know we were talking about pay to win a little bit earlier, but I do want to focus on that subject right now in this segment. Let's talk about the pay to win situation. Choice, can you kind of walk us through one more time, I guess a TLDR version of the whole pay to win issue with Black Desert, what it was like at the start, and how that's changed, if it has? Because I feel like there's no better person to talk about this than you, and I believe you actually made a video on this. I think you did a non-pay to win journey as well, and I'll probably try to link that in. I will link that in the description below if you want to check that video out. Choice, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that instead of just saying, "Oh no, you're wrong," and all of these things that people say online are wrong, is I think that it's more healthy to actually reflect on the reality that it was right. Like, I actually think that a lot of these rumors and a lot of these like things that people say about the game are absolutely completely and utterly true, but the game has absolutely pivoted from those days a lot. And a lot of those takes, I feel, are extremely old and outdated because you were faced with all kinds of roadblocks as a new player when you first started the game. Like, we were talking earlier about how you did not get free pets, so you couldn't grind and you'd have to manually pick up your gear unless you wanted to spend money. Silver had weight, items and trash loot had way more weight, which means you needed to buy a lot of weight for your character, or else you had to stop every 10 minutes. It had issues with, you dropped a whole bunch of items while you were grinding instead of stacking it into boxes, which means that you needed inventory slots. They didn't give you maids. They didn't have, like, you were basically just faced, they didn't even give you a horse. You basically just had to ride around. You had to find some random tier 5 horse. I remember when I first started the game, one of the selling features of the game, of the like Conquerors pack, was that it gave you a tier 5 horse, because otherwise they didn't give you a horse to ride. You just were like running around on foot. And so there's a lot of reasons why the game had that reputation of being like, yeah, it's pay to win, because you literally can't really enjoy the game unless you're paying money to play. There was an initial investment of like $300 to get all of the, what most players would consider necessary conveniences that I would not even call them conveniences. I'd call them just necessities. And so that was super prohibitive as a new player, and that's where this stigma comes from. But I actually think that they have fully, with the exception of maybe, the ferry system is still a little bit, it needs work, and the pay to win tent for sure needs a little bit of work, but all in all, they've done a really good job in making it where you can play this game without investing money for the first like 6 months without even feeling like you need to have a value pack, because they even just give you that along the way. And I think that it's just, you can actually play this game and try this game without feeling the need to spend money. And if you want to continue to play the game without spending money, it's possible. But I definitely think that, having a value pack active is probably the bare minimum for just not having to only sell your items every 2 weeks. That's probably a huge one too. But that's kind of like a subscription cost. I feel like that's a bit more fair. But yeah, I don't know.
That's about
the negative aspect
$15,
of the
right?
game.
By the way,
Yeah, $15
for a value pack
month is what you would expect for a value pack. But
right.
Yeah, I started this game over again on EU. I spent $60, and I quite frankly, I could hardly tell the difference between my North American account that has every luxury in the world and this EU account that has all the luxuries that matter. So realistically, $60 is going to get you very far. And after that, you buy a value pack every month if you really want the, pure convenience of that. And you can enjoy this game so successfully, like you won't even feel prohibited in any way, or I don't feel incentivized at all here in EU to buy anything ever, because it's not needed. It's just totally unnecessary.
Elly, what's your take on that?
I agree, with choice about the earlier half that people do have this idea that Black Desert Online is pay to win because initially it was a very predatory game. Um, if you wanted to continue grinding, you had to swipe for weight, and this is per character, which is still a thing in the game. Hopefully, maybe in the future they'll alleviate the per character weight restrictions. But in the beginning, you absolutely had to because there was no way they were giving you any like free weight, any like maids. They made it so easy for you to swipe. In fact, they threw it all in your face. Hey, here, swipe, swipe, swipe. You want to do this more? Swipe, swipe, swipe. And that is a very bad way to enjoy a game. So I can see why people have been left with this stigma of this game being pay to win. However, none of that is as strong or in your face as it was initially. With the silver reduction and it doesn't cost silver anymore. Your silver doesn't have any weight with the free amount of free stuff they give you with all the other gains you get in the game naturally just progressing inventory quests and all that. I think they've definitely made the whole pay to win thing just a thing in the past. You can definitely progress in this game without having to swipe in the game. And every time that I do have a new person that comes to ask me, hey, what do I need to buy in this game? I'm like, first of all, you don't need to buy anything. Just buy the game for $5 at a discount, however it costs for you, or get it for free because the game goes out for free a lot of times. Hashtag not sponsored. So you can do that and then not swipe. Just enjoy the game. Enjoy the game the way you want. If I had to say to somebody, hey, if you do want to swipe in this game, this is something that you can't get in the game by any other means, and that is the tent. The tent is a very quality of life thing in the game, and it is something that I almost would say it's something that is probably needed in the game to fully enjoy the game, which really sucks, and I wish there was a free way to obtain this, even by just logging on for like set 90 days straight to acquire this item because I think it's a very important item. Aside from that, I think they've done a really good job at clearing the whole monetization thing. I don't feel pressure to swipe. I don't feel pressure to do this. I don't feel pressure to do that. If I wanted to buy something, I just buy outfits, which can also be bought from the market board itself, from other players. So you have the option to buy things that other players like to spend on and put on the auction house so they can, I don't know, well out. But I think somebody, is the game pay to win? I don't know if that was your question directly or talking about the monetization. I don't think so. I think it definitely has pay to win, pay for convenient features, but I don't think it's pay to win in that way. Well,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good answer.
No,
but...
no, it was great. It was great. Totally. So if I may inject my thoughts on this matter here, I believe that there are two mechanics, two things that are in this game that are pay to win. When I say pay to win, I mean something that you can purchase that will allow you to progress your gear or your power faster, because everyone has a different definition of pay to win. Let's just use that as the baseline for the definition of pay to win. Everything else is pay to convenience. And I feel like this game very much encourages you to pay for the convenience. And it's justified by the players purchasing it because, well, first of all, the prices are reasonable. Second of all, you get a lot of discounts. And third of all, it's permanent. So like once you buy this tent that these guys are talking about, it is permanent. It's a one-time purchase and you're done. It's very comparable to systems in the monetization. Well, this specifically is very comparable to a game like Path of Exile, which you are very much encouraged to purchase those storage slots, right? So when it comes to the paid to convenience, I feel like a lot of Black Desert Online players, they do try to justify it by saying it's not pay to win, it's pay to convenience. But I feel like it doesn't change the fact that this game does encourage you, I feel like pretty aggressively. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, by the way. I think they do aggressively encourage you to pay for convenience because let's be real here. Hey, there's a discount going on And if you buy this package, which is like a 40% discount, you also get these 20% discount coupons that you get that expire a week later. So and discounts are great, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like the game certainly does encourage you to pay for convenience. But like what Choice was saying, it's no longer necessary to pay for those conveniences. Weight is significantly less important now than it was in the past because of just the way the game is designed. You have all these maids, which are also given to you for free. You get a lot of inventory slots for free. You get a lot of maids for free. There's a lot of things in the game now that prevent you from having to have some of these convenience items, and a lot of these convenience items are given to you for free, especially if you play for a long period of time. Pets are another example of this. So for me, my opinion is that there are two mechanics, two things, two items, or two main things that are pay to win, and the rest of it's pay to convenience. And in regards to those pay to win items, I feel like that for me personally is also a non-issue because it's just simply not worth paying for those items to progress. I feel like there's a reason why that the vast majority of people that truly whale in this game, that aren't content creators, aren't streamers, do it by paying pilots to play their account to grind, because that is literally the most efficient way to grind. Not to mention there are limits to how much you can purchase when it comes to some of these items. I'm not encouraging that, but I mean, I'm just calling it what it is. Let's be real. Let's not act like people aren't doing that. You shouldn't do it. It's against terms of service, but let's not act like that doesn't exist. That certainly does exist. But I think that in itself is also a testament to just it being the most, like, progressing your character simply is the most efficient, most efficient way to progressing your character. It simply is grinding, like what Choice is doing right now. How much are we up to right now, bro?
Well, or I don't know, man. I sold my trash earlier, so I'm not sure, but
no, it's all good.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
got
good.
4 tongue grads so far. So
4? You got 3 more since the. Jeez, man. Man, that's like 1 every 10 minutes on every. Anyways. Sorry, I thought I would throw that in there. But if you're wondering what those 2 items are, those would be artisans and costumes that you can sell for silver. So what I've done here, I've written out all the items that could be considered pay to win and pay to convenience. Let's talk about each one individually so that the viewer can decide for themselves the value of each item. So let's start with the pay to win items, which I feel like are by definition pay to win. Okay, starting with artisans. Choice. Can you briefly tell us what artisans? Actually, I will explain what artisans are. Artisans is an item. So in Black Desert Online, you upgrade your gear, and when you upgrade your gear, if you fail your upgrade, you lose maximum durability on your item. And in order to repair the maximum durability on your item, because obviously if the durability goes to 0, it's unusable, you have to use something called a memory fragment. Doesn't matter what the name is. You just have to use an item that repairs the maximum durability. And artisans allow you to repair 5 times the amount. 1 memory fragment would be one durability. Using an artisan would give you 5 durability per memory fragment. So you're using less memory fragments to repair your gear, allowing you to enhance more, right? Choice. Can you talk to us about artisans? Like, what is this a pay to win thing? Why does it not matter? If it doesn't matter, does it matter? Break this down for us.
Okay, so I think that cronstones, like the ability to purchase costumes and artisans, definitely both of them I think are pay to win. Now, the big question here becomes, in the whole pay to win discussion, to me, has always been, how is this actually affecting your gameplay as a player? And the reason why I don't necessarily think that it matters that people can pay to win is, what is it that you are really missing out on by not being a high gear score player in this game? Like, you can still do Node Wars and Siege. You can still do almost absolutely everything that a non-geared player can do in the game, except for Red Battlefield. That is like one of the only things. Even open world, you can just go on a season server and do open world PvP through season. So to me, the whole discussion around pay to win is, okay, if the definition is, can I pay for power to get stronger in this game. Absolutely. But you're not winning anything by doing it. This game is honestly very solo oriented, and there are alternatives for every piece of content except Red Battlefield that you can enjoy the game without needing gear. So therefore, I just don't really see the need, and that's why it's something that never really comes up, is that most players are kind of playing their own game in Black Desert. Everybody keeps saying a lot of the time in these videos that I watch on YouTube, they're like, oh man, this is a forced PvP game. Someone will flag up on you and die, and that's why it's so pay to win. I haven't been flagged up on in Black Desert in like, how long? Like how often does this happen? And if it does happen, you just hop one channel and it's never going to happen again for 3 months. It's like it doesn't really, that type of thing doesn't really occur. And so to me, the question, can you pay? Absolutely. Are you winning? What are you winning? Like what are you able to do with that you weren't able to do that really matters in relation to another player? So like I just don't think that other people spending money on this game has any effect on me whatsoever. So it's just not really something that's thought about by me, or I don't think by many BDO players, quite frankly. I actually like when people spend money so I can progress my character by buying their costumes off the market. Like it's more of a solo thing.
Right. So I'm going to let you give your opinion here, Elly, but I do want to actually just knock out both of these items, the artisans that I just spoke about and these costumes. For those of you who aren't aware, you can buy costumes in the cash shop. You're limited, correct me if I'm wrong, you're limited to 35 costumes per week that you can purchase and sell on the marketplace. Each costume will sell for about roughly, I think you could average it to about 1 billion silver. Some sell for less. Is about 1 billion, guys? Is that for like the premium ones, I guess?
Like 842 million.
840 million. Okay, so just under 1 billion silver you can sell it for. Keep in mind, Choice just grinded. If you heard what he grinded, how much he made, and just
I've
in this
grinded
podcast,
twice that.
He's already made twice that. Put that into perspective. That's kind of what I meant earlier. And you could also melt the costumes. What do I mean by that? You could just essentially turn the costume into an item called cronstones. Cronstones are items that give you protected enhancements. So if I want to go from second to highest level to the highest level by enhancing my gear, it allows me to go for that attempt, but not downgrade my gear, because you can downgrade your gear if you fail attempts in Black Desert Online. Now, the silver that you can make on a week-to-week basis is not limited. However, it is limited to 35 sales a week, but the cronstones are not limited. You can buy as many costumes as you want and get as many cronstones as you want. Cronstones are also very much purchasable in-game. It's the main way people purchase them outside of the free ones that you get. You'll get a lot of free ones. You can simply buy these cronstones as well for, what was the price per cronstone? Like $1 million?
2 million from an armor smith.
2 million per cronstone. That is the system. Elly, floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, I agree heavily with Choice that you're not really winning at anything. There is no end game, right? The end game is PvP, and when you get to that end game, it's all equalized. So, like, what are you really winning?
A lot of the content is equalized.
Yeah. If you decide to go down that route, okay, the simple answer is this game pay to win by definition of everybody around, who's swiping the game. Yes, you can swipe in this game. You can swipe for power. That is a thing in this game. But I honestly don't see how in Black Desert that affects anybody. You just described the 35 item limit cronstone that you can list. If somebody does decide to swipe this limit weekly, it would take them a year and like 4 to 6 months to get to 730 gear score. If somebody is willing to swipe that much, go have fun, enjoy your game. Like, you deserve to enjoy it. Go pay to win. That is a long time to see fruits of your labor, if that's the right quote. Like, that is so much time. And yeah, you could go the other route where you can I guess infinitely swipe for cronstones to melt, but I also think that that's a pretty stupid way to do it. You're not guaranteed anything. When you're swiping for that at a 2 to 5% chance to enhance something, you're talking about somebody spending over like $10,000 easily within their first month. That is crazy. And I think that those people that do that are at the very small portion of who even plays this game. I don't think those players are like, I think those are like a handful of players, not even a lot of players. So in
Yep.
short, yes, the game is pay to win. Point blank, it is. You can pay for power. But I mean, it has never affected my game. It has never affected my playtime. And I'd be very, very surprised if it would affect anybody in the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the big one right there. Is it just has really other people paying in this game doesn't have an effect, and there aren't really many. I actually have a bit of stats from when I made my pay to win video, and it's that around 11,000 costumes were sold in a given, I think it was 2-week period,
Mhm.
which means that around 300 people maxed out their costume order, assuming all of those were done through like one person each
Right.
sold 30 35 each. It would be 300 people worth of actual pay to win on a week to week basis out of how many, several thousand players, like I don't know, tens of thousands,
Tens of
100,000, I don't know how
thousands.
many, because
It's
it's
very
all
little.
it's hidden to know how many people really play BDO, but it's a very small minority. You would have to spend $50 an hour by the time you're an endgame player to replace an hour of grinding, is really what it comes down to. And even then, what are you really doing? Like you're supposed to be progressing and playing a game for fun. That power doesn't do anything other than, yeah, you make a little extra money per hour, but
Right.
that's all solo stuff. Right? It just doesn't have an effect.